What's up, everybody? I'm Ethan. This is Val from Edgetown Research, and today is all about the Aurora project, which is my dissertation project that combines audio, tactile audio, audio experiences, as well as music and visual to create a multimodal immersive installation. But before you even get there, there's a little experience that we planned out, so come check it out. So first, to explain and understand the technology, our product designer, Vincent Zhang, created an amazing sculpture that allows you to visually see sound waves interact. It's an easy way to see and feel the texture. Participants are allowed to come in and touch the sculpture and feel the sound waves, but not only will they be able to feel it, but because of the water feature in the center, you'll actually be able to see the complexity of the sound waves going through the entire device. And that shows that even though obviously we can all feel bass frequencies, you can actually see the complex nature of high frequencies as well. So for example, if we have Julian turn up a little bit, especially on we'll turn down the bass on the exciters, but then turn up, there we go. Have those complex waves going on. The smaller the wave, the higher the frequency. And usually we can't interact or see or hear those, but the water allows us to really easily demonstrate that.
So also keep in mind that there is actually no speaker in this room. All the auditory experience is coming directly through the table. So as you're hearing it, that vibration you're seeing in the water is actually what you're feeling through your body. So when you put your fingers on the table, what you're seeing in the water is what texture you're feeling through your body to actually understand the auditory experience. But let's move over to the next experience over here. The Aurora overall has a storyline to it.
That's right.
So the next couple rooms are the storyline, so you can explain what the storyline is.
Yeah, so something, of course, that's near and dear to our heart is the Earth. So for us, it was kind of important to frame the premiere of this technology in a way that shows sustainability. And the way that we want to do that is to imagine what it would be like if it wasn't this way. Thank you, Winston. Say hi, behind the scenes.
Hi.
The Aurora project is framed around the concept of what happens if we don't have the Earth anymore. And so as we walk through what this kind of like reverted garage, or at least it was supposed to be a reverted garage, we go into what is essentially our concept of what the future would be. We don't have lights anymore, the cloud is ashy, the cloud is dark, we're all living almost like a Mad Max-esque kind of futuresque because we didn't take care of ourselves. It's 130 degrees in every direction. People have gone crazy to determine whether or not they want to survive with each other or if they want to kill each other, a la The Walking Dead. And thus, you get basically mayhem and panic, and people are scared, and systems and civilization collapses because at that point we're not trying to survive as a society, we're trying to survive individually for coolness, for shelter, for that experience that we once had. While we're fighting to survive, the Earth won't wait for us to adapt. So the Earth will probably take over any commercial building or anything else that's been human-made. We think we're so smart, but we're not. And thus, the simplicity of the Aurora. So this is all the content. The content of Aurora is all centered around the idea of innocence and exploration and taking us on the journey of the time when the Earth was to where we are now and a possibility of the future. And to start off that innocent journey, we start off by exploration. So every time we step on the panel, we get the lowest frequencies possible that can only be felt by touch or a very keen ear. And as we walk across the stage, we get a little bit of higher frequency. And these higher frequencies and lower frequencies are all felt throughout the wall, making this an extraordinarily tactile experience. Even these frequencies that are more continuous or thought of as hearing frequencies, you can still feel and touch. And even on the highest frequencies, the highest of frequencies that we have on our stage are still tactile, still able to be felt, showing that the entire frequency range of our technology is able to be felt.
So the important thing to understand here is the entire setup you see, there are no physical speakers. All the sound that is being created by our brand new technology, which is experiential audio. So Ethan, actually, let's explain a little bit how you set this up. When it comes to the wood panels, to the projectors, to everything else, how is this actually set up?
Big shout out to Scott Yoakum, for helping me bring this idea to life. When we tried to say that we wanted to build a sound stage, people said, well, then just go to a sound stage. Like, no, the stage is sound. And that's a foreign concept, obviously. There's a lot of things to take into consideration when you're trying to vibrate for a purpose. Usually buildings are designed to remove vibrations. And so we had the opposite intention. We wanted to create vibrations, but we don't want to have stray vibrations in there. So we wanted to have a way to get the vibrations that we wanted in there and remove the vibrations that we didn't. So the floor is just regular, I think it's like a 1/2-inch plywood, or sorry, 3/4 inch plywood. Each one is a 4 foot by 10 foot panel, as are each of the walls. Each of these are 4 foot by 10 foot panels of just, I think this is OSB or roofing wood. I really wanted to show that it doesn't matter what you have, everything can be used to make an ultimate sound experience. And like that, the floor being just regular plywood and all the walls being roofing wood, we're able to make what is essentially a really immersive sound experience that sounds like a hi-fi speaker. Behind the walls, if you're able to hear any audio, there's no speakers in this room at all whatsoever. All of the sound is being generated through our technology into the walls themselves. And as the participants come through, they can feel the walls. Even as this little background music is playing, they can feel all the different vibrations coming from the center of the wall. When they're seated, all the sound coming from both ends of it in a regular just stereo audio feed. Anybody can bring their phone and plug in and will have the best audio experience, the most immersive audio experience you can possibly have. And then, of course, displayed on this giant wall, the thing that I wanted to show was not only can you touch the wall, but I wanted to have a multimodal effect. Me as an artist, I like to do audiovisual music videos would be an example of an audiovisual installation. And I think there's something compelling about sound and touch to have two modes of interaction with an audio source. And so to add visual as a component as well, it means you have 3 modes of communication of this idea that I have. This Aurora project is you hear it, you feel it, and you see it at the same time. And you're seeing the same ideas come across at the same time. And in order to make that immersive dream happen, we were so thankful to work with RabCup, who is the premier projection mapping company in Los Angeles and possibly beyond, who've done huge installations all the way from Coachella to every commercial type of deal you could possibly ever imagine. And they're super great to work with. They came and they helped us to work with Epson, who is sponsoring these projectors, these very high-powered laser projectors to be able to project the visual part of the audiovisual installation onto these walls. And they were able to take whatever we were able to make of these walls. No one's ever done this before, so we were trying to experiment as we're building at the same time. So obviously there were some minor imperfections, but it would distort the screen. And so RabCup was able to use this software called MadMapper to fine-tune and put it all together so it's one continuous screen all the way across all sides. And so super shout out for them and Epson for helping us make this into a reality. Should we look behind the scenes? So over here we have just a little PC. To do this kind of crazy projection mapping. It's not necessarily the computer that's the big deal, but it's the graphics card. So I have a full featured graphics card right there with our little NUC, which is the Intel small mini computer. We're running 2 softwares, MadMapper, which is how they installed the graphical interface. And then we're running an export of my audiovisual work, the music video of Aurora, in a 5x1, 5-wide kind of setup. And all of that is going out of here through the graphics card, through the projectors. And the audio right now that you're hearing the pre-show was made in collaboration with Christian Clark, a good friend of mine that just graduated from UC Riverside with his doctorate in digital composition, which hopefully I will be next. And he did this crazy max patch where we're taking basically the inverse of our technology. Instead of vibrating the stage and making sound, we're taking sound vibrations from the stage and using that as a microphone input. And interestingly enough, you would think vibrations going in, vibrations coming out, that's feedback. As you can hear, it's not triggering because there is no feedback because it's not the exact same sound that's going in. The beautiful part about tactile audio or using things as sound is that you're chaotically making it sound, which means that there's no actual feedback. I can put a microphone pretty much right in front of this board and it plays at 90 decibels, which is already the beginning of a nice rock concert, but with no feedback behind it. It's pretty cool. And so this patch is really, really cool where it's automatically generating all the tones that people are seeing, and it plays back a certain pitch class above this little background ambiance that I made for it. And then everything else becomes very standard. All it is to make the sound experience is we have a audio interface that's really taking the microphones in, but I could have just done an audio out from my computer, and the audio out is going to a little DSP brain, and that DSP brain has everything tuned to very specific frequencies. So we have here the front two Resonexes that we're using, the side Resonexes, the higher frequency bass shakers, and then the low frequency bass shakers. And what I mean by Resonexes, if we actually go check out this one right here, this is how we're shaking the platform, is with our Resonex device. So directly from the computer to this Resonex device, it's already pre-configured to work optimally in this area. The software that we're working on will be able to do that automatically in your home and on your chair. If you want to install it on the floor yourself, it'll automatically adjust itself to that. So all this stuff that I'm doing, we're working on coding me into a program that'll automatically tune your surfaces to sound just as good as the stage. And so we have 4 of them, one on this side, one on that side, and then 2 in the middle, and that gives us our left and right sensation, as well as the left and right bass shakers underneath the floor. There's only 4 of each, the high frequency and the low frequency bass shakers in the floor, but it's a rumbly good time. And it's all spot. Perfect timing.
You can honestly cut it at that.